Hi. Um, my name is Lou. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, kind of doing this with no real plan in mind. I've got a bit of a script written out. Um, but I've been having a lot of thoughts about just making videos, and there's been this mental block in place keeping me from actually doing it. So I am recording some of my drawing that I'm doing here. Um, my birthday's in a few days, so I'm doing a bunch of new designs for my shop and doing a big sale and putting a bunch of stuff back up. A bunch of new stuff up. Um, but you probably don't even care because you don't know who I am. um, my name's Lou. I go by Lewis. I do a lot of things. I live up north. I have three cats. I have a boyfriend. I happen to be I happen to be transgender. I happen to be one of the many of our population who are transgender and are are facing what is to come this next year. I'm y'all. So I'm originally from Texas. I I know what is coming, and I know what my parents tried to do by getting me and my siblings out of Texas, out of the South, because it's a scary place. It's a horrible place to live. I grew up in Leander. I grew up in Leander, Texas. Um I'm gonna preface my story with saying that I have this very deeply held opinion that our society does not produce untraumatized adults, um, or untraumatized anyone. Um, there is no way for anyone to avoid like encountering a trauma in their lifetime living in this country, whether it's family, whether it is financial, whether it is societal. Everyone has problems, and it feels like nobody cares enough about other people to fix them or to think about anyone but themselves. And that's hard, looking outside yourself. And that's the really scary thing. It's is with a lot of conservatives, it's they lack empathy, and they can't find that place outside themselves to to see people as a human being. And that's why I want to start making videos. I want to start this year putting videos out and hopefully doing at least one a week or something. And um but I need people to know that I'm a person and I'm here, and I need someone to realize that's not just like my family, because my family is not even like barely in the picture. My mom is older, and she has her health issues. She's not older. She's in her 40s, but she's got dementia. And she is going through her own stuff. And my dad is just not able to be a parent in any capacity, and I'm just learning more and more about him that makes me unhappy with him. And I don't have anyone else where I live. So I've been my background is I grew up poor. I grew up poor living in Texas, to the point where I, growing up, barely had access to dental health care or physical health care. It was like, if you're not vomiting, like you don't get to go to the doctor. Um, I yeah uh, and that all changed when I went from being a middle schooler, elementary schooler, whatever, to being a high schooler living in Vermont, because Vermont has they have free healthcare for every minor that lives in the state, and that was the first access to consistent healthcare that I had ever received as someone who grew up in this country. Like my, and it, the thing that drives me nuts is like my parents weren't, it's not like my parents were poor either. It's my mom was my mom's a technology professional, and my father is he was in law enforcement. He used to be a massage therapist. There's a bunch of things he learned to do and then just does not do anymore. Because he learned it and then decided that it wasn't for him, and he has all the tools and has not made a life for himself. And the life that he has right now, I'm just kind of like rolling my eyes at and being very polite about. Um, and my dad, if you watch this, I'm I'm not sorry. Um, they both put me through so much shit growing up. Um, I I learned recently that like my dad, who I even thought was my biggest ally, had put off the question of like, when I first came out, I was in middle school. My dad didn't know how to handle it. My mom didn't want to handle it. She kind of just got rid of me. And my dad asked my stepmom to step in and be like, "So, hey, what are your pronouns? What do you like to be? What do you like to be called?" And my because he couldn't do it himself. He couldn't do it himself with his own son. And uh, but my parents weren't bad, poorly or terribly bad off. Like my mom, tech professional. My dad could have had a profession if he stayed at a job long enough. Um, and between two adults, you think that they would have enough money to like take care of the kids that they brought into the world. But like the agreement growing up was always one parent was supposed to take care of the health insurance, and one of them was supposed to actually take care of the kids, and then they would always like fuck on it and leave like me and my brother in the lurch because we were dependent on them. And I hate to think about how many parents like that are going to be stuck with kids now that they don't want, and how many people are going to become parents that don't want to become parents because they have no other choice. I'm really afraid of um I'm starting to the reason I'm doing this, I'm trying to buckle down and do more things that could not, I don't know, get my voice out there, because I want people to see my art, and I want to be able to get out of the United States at some point, and that requires money. But I think the thing that I want most is for people to know that I'm here, that I'm a person. Um, this is like a terrible introduction to who I am, because this is just rambling and some art and some listening to my fears about the hellscape that we are like so hurtling into at a very fast speed. Like this, like you guys realize he was convicted, and they just decided to like throw everything out because it would impede his ability to be the president, instead of saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be the president." Ooh, it drives me crazy, because like people like him will get away with anything. Um, the whole argument about the man and the bear, and I I was with a man who I was with a man who I thought was a queer like ally and a queer person, and like someone I could trust, and even then it wasn't enough. And please let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. They won't give me a straight answer about what my case is doing. They won't, okay, the police don't even know what the fuck is going on. So in terms of what I'm working on, which is probably a lot nicer than what I'm rambling about, I'm working on this set of new keychains that I'm making. Probably can't see all my layers up in the corner here. I've got my face up there. I will move it in the future. That is my bad. But I got boy, girl, girl, boy, and then whatever. So I make queer art. I collect clowns. I have a clown website. I do clown drag. My website is basically my portfolio with I paintings. I um kind of jack of all trades. Um, can't really decide on one thing that I want to do, but it's just all so much fun. But I don't have enough time for all of it. Um, I I really enjoy making I really enjoy making art. I have my website as well, which my mom helped me make. And that I can only show the front page of, I think, without I'm just gonna have to be really careful because I do make some more mature art. Not necessarily not safe for work, but more um artistic nudity. I like painting the human form, and I really have a as an artist with years of doing this, something a machine could never do, by the way, something a machine could never do. Um, I have years of experience studying the human form, um, in um, in drawing classes, in studio sketch hours, in I don't know, just looking at references that are of real people and aren't heavily edited. I think oh, it's just I think it's really important that in a lot of my art that I try to make bodies as realistic as possible. Like like I want you to look at my art and be like that could be a real person. That could be a real person. Like I've got this character. I I've been playing Dragon Age Veilguard. Um, this is my OC from Inquisition. I had made him up. He's more of like an NPC. He's just a soft little guy and not made for battle. He's just a soft guy. Yeah. These were the sketches for the three poses for the three buttons. As far as my art goes, I do my best to keep things organized. Like I want to say it's really important to me as a artist that I'm also creating like diverse characters. Like this isn't my character, but I took the time to like talk to this person whose character's person of color and like what it he's albinism, so give me the give me the palettes, and I'm doing research and like what are the patterns, the eyes specifically. I did if you look there they have the circle in the middle, because I've noticed in a lot of photos of albinism, there's just a little extra depth to the eyes there. I enjoy creating characters for fun. Let's see if any of these are uh fun enough, appropriate enough to share. I'm making aliens. I I am a huge sucker for like abnormal anatomy and like making shit. I love making shit. I'm also in the process of I'm also in the process of writing a book or a graphic novel, depending on if I have the strength to illustrate it all by myself. Because I don't have a team. It's just little old me, and I did most of these like within the last week. But it's it's so easy to just want to draw and to not think about anything. But I feel like if I think about anything too hard, I become a zombie and just cannot function. And I'm really afraid that people do not understand and have not actually read through all of what's going on. My my partner, who is even he's very socially conscious, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's very smart, but I feel like he doesn't understand some of the fear that is going around in the trans community right now, with our loss of access to healthcare. A lot of places they're taking it away from even adults. They are forcibly detransitioning prisoners. They're forcibly detransitioning prisoners, and people don't give a shit because nobody gives a shit about prisoners. But there's still people. That's cruel and unusual punishment, taking away someone's like medication, so that they fit a specific standard that you have set, and so you can keep them in a prison with people. people when you put trans women in men's prisons, there's violence. I just I'm at a loss for words when it comes to a lot of this, but I have to find them, and I have to say something. I'm even though this video will probably never be seen by anyone, even though I will probably post it unedited and people will see like some little weirdo on the internet shouting into the void. Like, I'm terrified for my life, and I want people to know that I'm here, and I want to start recording and telling people what I went through to get here to where I am, and how the system has failed me. And maybe you'll see some cloud art on the way, I don't know. Yeah, but these are the three. I'm working on these keychains. I am working on, my goal is to make a new design every week after my birthday, and then have a sale going on that whole week. And it's, I don't do this to make money. I do this because I want people to have my art. I want people to, I don't have a shipping fee on a lot of my stuff. I just want people to want my art. Which is, it's been hard. It's the, because I feel like I have a certain amount of skill, but the brick wall of no one seeing, and just feeling like I'm gonna die in obscurity and no one's ever gonna know that I was here. I think that I think I want my my channel to be more genuine videos. Um, I want to post more about my personal experiences, and because I have tons of stories about growing up in Texas, about um, I am also um, I do a lot of art. I do drag. I collect clowns. I I have like, I don't know if I can like turn my camera at all, but this is my bedroom. I have that whole shelf over there that's just covered in them, and I spend my days um I I want people to know that I'm a human person. I spend my days on the phone as a faceless name, doing everything that I can to assist with. I work at a call center. I work at a call center for a hospital, and it is incredibly, it can be incredibly difficult. But I love what I do. I I find it difficult sometimes to reconcile the helping people every day when I know that most of the people I interact with would not consider me a human being, and a lot of people yell at me. It's hard. Customer service is hard, and retail is hard, and interfacing with the public at any level tends to be really hard because there seems to be a level of kindness that people seem to forget, and they seem to forget that like whoever they're shouting at on the other side of the phone is a human person. So they sometimes people will remember it. I will say that sometimes people remember that we're people and will be like, yeah, that's, I mean, it's not your fault. It is not your fault that you can't do this for me, but I feel like I'm doing my best every day. I feel like it's not enough. I feel like I don't get paid enough. I feel like I don't get paid enough to get screamed at all day, and and I work a job that makes me um that is marginally less miserable because I get to do it from home, and I get to have my cat here with me. But I don't know what to do because I'm okay. I don't know what to do. I'm in the process of doing what I want to do with my life, because it's like last year I was focusing on I'm just trying to myself, and this year I'm like actually trying to do I'm actually trying to work harder. Like I had to go part-time last year because I had to do a intensive outpatient program because um I needed help, and the mental hospital couldn't help. So that was their next best recommendation, is getting inpatient care while being outpatient. And I did it. And I have to admit, I've been watching a lot of that, like, of that financial audit guy. And, I, I feel very good about where I am. Like, I don't have any credit card debt or anything. Like, I have a pretty well, I make 2,000 a month. I have a pretty decently paying job. I just have to be better at putting money away and not, we, my partner and I have to stop going out so much, and doing like big events. But I'm taking steps to, y'all, for real this year, for the next 4 years or so, I'm like, I'm battening down the hatches. I don't know about you guys, but it's, it's no parties, no, or limited, probably like little, no going out. We're not going to bars. We're not going to parties. I'm probably gonna opt to stay home whenever I can, because I just cannot fathom spending money in like this economy. And so I've been looking into going back to college. I am going to I'm going to do an online course with the Cartoon Institute in Vermont over the summer that I'm paying off now ahead of time with my money that I have, instead of and like on a payment plan, instead of like putting it on a credit card or something. And uh, and I'm doing that to try to further my education outside of college, and I'm looking into finishing my associates, and I'm doing all of this without the support of my family because I'm from Texas, and um I most of my relatives in Texas voted for Trump, and it was awful, and it was awful to hear that, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we're not sorry, and we don't care that like he's a fucking liar, and we don't care that you are upset with us. And it's like, okay, well, that it was nice. I mean, nice. I was talking to my grandma. She was like, yeah, I already have two other grandkids anyway. I'm like, yeah, from like the hillbilly stepkids that you inherited from my uncle. I could say that. I grew up out there. I grew up down there. I spent every summer at like, I didn't spend the summer at their cabin. My brother did. I didn't do it because I was a girl back then. And they were kind of like weird about me, and like were always kind of weird about me because I was the weird gay cousin. So like, obviously it's like no, it's no skin, ain't no skin off my nose, because these people who barely wanted to know me, who barely understand my life, and if by some chance my family finds this, like, what are you gonna do about it? Reach out. I dare you. Reach out to me. Reach out to me to complain that I posted like a video journal and mentioned you. It's because it feels like I have grown up with no support from the government, no support from my family, because my parents were young and stupid and got married young and stupid and did not take care of their kids and got divorced when I was in kindergarten, and are both barely financially able to take care of themselves, let alone help me in any way. No college fund. I my nan my nana said that she had a college fund made for me, and she's like, yeah, I put money into it every year, and you're an adult now, you have to come and claim it. How much money is in it, Grandma? $3,000. $3,000. She's been saving up my whole life. She's been retired most of my life, so I know that she's had like a limited budget, but I also see her taking huge luxury vacations every year. And she knows that she's the only one in my family that has any kind of financial support. You know, my ugh. Both of my grandmothers own their houses. I I'm not going to inherit either of them. I will not be inheriting a house from anyone. I can't imagine. I will never make enough to own a house. And with the way things are going, no one will. Which does that make me feel any better about not me? Hey conservatives, does not being able to have something, um does it make you feel better to take does that make you feel better to take it away from someone when you're not able to have something? Like, if it are other people not allowed to be trans because you're not allowed to have a racking pair of tits and a nice hog as well, and you're just jealous? Because no one's stopping you. No one's stopping anyone from just doing both, from doing whatever you want, except for people who have some kind of moral quandary with people who want to do things with their own body for whatever reason. I spend all my day in this room. I spend all my time in this room creating and and watching the world burn down outside my window as all this happens, and I stay up every night thinking about how terrifying this is all going to be going forward. And I as a as a person, as someone who's been a victim for of this fucking of I don't want to say like the system. It's not the system that failed me. It's people. It's people that failed me. It is the systems. It's the existing systems in place. If I could talk, I'm gonna leave all this in. Listen. I could barely get myself to make this video. I'm not gonna edit it that that much. Um, the world is going down the drain really fast, and I need to make sure that people know that I'm a real person, that trans people are real people, and stay tuned for tips on drawing clowns and stay tuned for tips on drawing clowns, and stay tuned for tips on drawing clowns and more information on fleeing the United States, I guess. Especially if, like, be especially careful if they start making it so people with specific reproductive organs just can't leave. Because that's the next step, and I'm really afraid of. You can find me at my main website is clowntowncreations.com. I don't know if I even have a YouTube name picked out because this is so off the cuff. I have a Blue Sky account, but I will not be sharing it publicly on my YouTube channel because it is where I put my smut. And if my family finds my my videos, they don't need to see that. They don't need to see that. So I've got my website. All my other socials are on there. I kind of use Instagram, but also not really because they're putting robots on there as well. So, well, I guess you'll see me when you see me, either here or on my website, I guess.